Okay, today we're going to do lesson plan number 6, grade 5, term 2, and the topic is grouping and sharing. It also linked to the worksheet 36 in the DBE book. I'm quickly showing you that, and then we're going back to the lesson plan. Here then you will have your link to the CAPS curriculum, and then I'm going to scroll up, and then we have our resources here. You can check this. You can have sweets counters. You can even use stones outside. And then what we have is did you know and your brain teaser. Remember, these are always where you can pause and you can read it. And this is to create a love for mathematics. Then we're going to look at our dictionary. Now, our dictionary today, we're going to look at words like grouping and sharing. So I just quickly want to go over this because it's very important. So grouping is when you put objects into groups, we are grouping the objects. You can divide numbers by grouping them. So let's quickly look at this example. If you have 15 flowers, how many bunches of 5 flowers each can you make? So, and then we can say 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Then if we have sharing, is when you share by giving the same amount to each person. So if you share 8 sweets between 4 friends, each of them will get 2. I want you to pause here and then quickly go through these again. Okay, so we're ready for the mental maths for today. You're going to ask these 10 questions. You can do it orally or they can write it in their books. And then it's time to pause. Okay, so we're going to reveal the answers now. You can check it, you can pause, and you can mark. So let's start with the introduction of the lesson. So we're going to look at grouping and share again. So let's look at this picture. So we share the 28 sweets amongst 4 children. So if we're going to share it, we can share it by sharing it one, or we can share it in groups then of 7. So now we're going to ask the following questions. How many sweets are there in total? So we can get that from the statement. Amongst how many children were the sweets shared? We can look at the picture and we can see 4. How many sweets did each get? 7. And then the focus of the lesson then is what fraction did each child get? So each child got 1/4 of the sweets. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at these diagrams, pictures, and then what we're going to answer these. So we're going to look at wholes, thirds, and fourths. So we're going to share 14 counters between 2 children. Now, what we can do is we can put it on fraction circles to make it easier to understand. And then what you're going to do is you're going to ask the questions that you previously asked. I'm just quickly going to fetch them and to bring them down here so you can see them. So these are the questions that we previously asked. So after you looked at this diagram, you looked at the top, you're going to ask how many sweets are there in total, how many counters are there in total, amongst how many children did you share it, or between how many children did you share it, how many counters did each get, and then the important part is what fraction did each child get. So I'm going to place these questions here, and what you're going to do now is you're going to pause and you're going to look at thirds and fourths, read the top part, ask the questions, and then check at the bottom if you are correct. So it's time to pause. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at these fraction circles, and we have similar questions than in the previous activity that you're going to do with your child. So what I'm going to do is um, quickly going to give you the questions again. What I suggest here is that you pause and you quickly write them down or take a photograph of it. Okay, welcome back. So now you have the questions. So what I want you to do is I want you to do then exactly what you did previously with these 6 circles. So you're going to pause, you're going to read the top part, Let me just get it in there. So you're going to read the top part, you're going to pause, you're going to ask the questions, and you're going to come to an answer. It's time to pause. Okay, welcome back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll so you can see then the last few activities that focus on 8s up to 12s. So you're going to do the same. Remember to use those questions every time when you look at one of these fraction circle wheels with all the sweets and the children. Also ask them to tell you who are the characters, what objects are we using. So the characters are the children, the objects that we're using will be the sweets and the fraction circles. Make stories around these. I just gave it to you as 8 children share 32 sweets equally, but make a story around these to make it a real life activity for learners. And then lastly, when we're done, is ask the learners to draw one similar example using any fraction of their choice. It's now time to do the worksheet. So you're going to carry on with the worksheet. We left some spaces if you need some drawings. If you can do it without a drawing, it's also fine. Um, Remember, if there's not enough space to write the answers, you can go and do it in a writing book. So these are then the questions, um, similar to what we have done. And then we come to the problem solving. Please read it carefully, identify the numbers, identify the keywords, and then solve it by using drawings, diagrams. Okay, then the extra activity. So the extra activity is then based on old exam papers or test papers that you can do. And then the remediation is again for those children that struggled. You can go through this again, keep it as practical as possible, and good luck. Then lastly, with the consolidation, if you ticked yes, you can carry on with the next lesson. If you ticked no, you need to revisit or revise some of the questions, activities, or you need to contact us at SA Teacher.